Greetings, one and all, and welcome back to Humankind and to our recently acquired territory, though it's not technically directly under our control. No, because it belongs to our recently acquired vassal. Fitz has finally seen the light and has chosen to join. Well, chosen may be a strong word. Fitz has joined Team Sexy Awesome, nevertheless. Choice or no choice? Welcome, Fitz. May your life be long and full of plenty under our leadership. Now, with that said and done, let's take the moment at the beginning of the episode here to just have a quick recap of our current situation. We have at least one city that has nothing to do, and I believe that is Darth Raptor. Darth Raptor and both Manu are at 43 population. Eelstar's population has taken a little bit of a dip because I've had Eelstar building up a new army, specifically an army designed around the idea of taking on Shen. And we'll see how that one plans out. I'm not sure that we're going to end up in a war in this episode. We've just transitioned to era, so I'm kind of keen on taking a moment to put the Empire back together and put all the pieces back where they need to be. We've got a lot of stuff to work on, to say the very least. But additionally, we can have a look at a couple of other things. First and foremost, we are about to research Seafaring Mastery, which is going to give us access to the cog to be built. Now, this one has skilled navigation, receives less damage from consecutive turns spent in deep water. At this point, we could cross very large bodies of water, at least with our main vessels, which will actually be quite an important one. Following that, we've also got 26 turns until we can select a new civic. Now, there are quite a few civics to look at, and there's actually a few things that I'm a little bit wary of right now. We have dropped fairly aggressively in influence production, and part of that is because we are no longer leaning towards the liberty side of the ideological axis between liberty and authority. We are now very much in the middle. Now, that is giving us a bunch of stability in our cities, which is actually going to be quite important, and I'll show you why in just a moment. But a consequence of that is that our emblematic districts, of which we have quite a few at this point, are not producing as much influence as they once did. Realistically, if we could get stability up high enough, it would be fantastic to have them giving us +4 additional influence. But as things stand, Shen is pushing, in terms of cultural influence, quite hard against us, and that is a bit of a problem, and something that we're going to want to try and deal with sooner rather than later. On the religion front, however, we are actually doing shockingly well, to be perfectly honest. We've got lots of areas on the map. We've got many followers of our state religion. We're converting 2 areas over, as well as in 11 turns, one of Shen's cities is going to be converting. Now, that one is a bit of a surprise to me, as I wasn't aware that Shen was really being pushed very hard at all by our religion. Follower repetition. No, that's not repetition. Oh my lord, why can I not say this word? Anyway, this word, it's at times like this that it really does show that I'm not a first language English speaker. Nevertheless, the religious breakdown of we've got 5 holy sites now in our empire, which is actually quite fantastic. Harappan's polytheism, which is a decent contender for us, has 127 followers. We have only 88 followers. That's actually quite a problem, actually, and it would be very nice to see if we can push that a little bit harder. But we only need a relatively small amount, only 22 new followers before we can choose our next tenet. If we have a look, we can see that Nubian polytheism and the Harappan polytheism are already at tier 3. So they've already probably grabbed some of the better options up there, which is a bit of a shame. We've got Show No Mercy, plus war support for refused demands or breaking agreements, and Shen has gone for Mandate Patronage, plus 2 money per number of trade routes on cities or outposts. Well, that is an interesting one as well. We'll have to have a look when we get the chance to see what we can possibly get from that. Though, as we did in one of the last things we did in the end of the last episode, is we have taken a civic which will allow us to make demands on others regarding their state religion. Now, am I going to do that to Shen? Certainly not right now. Shen is stronger, and I suspect that's largely because Shen is... actually, we're probably trading more of Shen's luxury resources than Shen is trading of ours. Now, on the topic of luxury resources, our cities are generally doing their own thing, and are doing it quite well. But Darth Raptor, in particular, is struggling with stability. Most of our cities have dropped stability a little bit, but Darth Raptor has dropped stability a lot. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to pop down procession. That's going to trend us towards 12% instead of 2%. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to drop down some commons quarters. The epicenter of the city's entertainment, the quarter provides respite from the daily grind to nearby citizens of every persuasion. On commons quarter, +1 food, +1 industry. Now, this one doesn't exploit any resources, so we really don't want to place it down on anywhere that has a lot of resources, otherwise we're going to lose them. But it does look like the quarter itself will always generate at least 2 food and at least 2 industry. So over here it's a fantastic place because it means that we're just going to gain positives. We're not actually going to lose anything by placing it here. And we'll gain 10 stability because of its nearby districts. Now, there's a bit of false economy. I've actually seen a couple of people streaming thinking that, oh, well, I'm going to build more districts so I get an overall better impact from the commons quarter. The issue with that is the commons quarter only halves the district, the lost stability due to a district. A district will typically, now some districts are an exception to this, and some ways you can build your empire will mean your districts aren't creating as much instability as they otherwise would. But under normal operation, this is simply going to reduce to half the malus on your stability that any new district offers. So don't build up the area around a place that you're going to put a commons quarters. Just look for good places to put the commons quarters, because if you're having to add new districts in order to place this, then you're actually hurting yourself in the long run. Now, I believe there should be another one around here. Yes, there it is. This one will actually give us 15 stability, so that'll be reasonably good. We'll pop that one down as well. So that's going to give us a bit of extra stability here at Darth Raptor. But at this point, the next thing that we're going to check is, we've already checked with Shen. There's nothing new that we can grab from Shen. So let's have a look at Cringer over here. Sadly, nothing new there. Let's look at Binary Cali. No, nothing there from Binary Cali. So finally, Burbman. What are we looking like here? Oh, there are quite a few things that we aren't trading with Birdman. Okay. +3 money per trader on all cities. That would not be bad at all. +12 stability. Why, yes, please. And for only 404, I accept. Thank you very much indeed. Now, the Ghanaians are buying this resource from the Murians. They may sell it to you thanks to their merchant affinity. Cannot be done as the extractor has been ransacked. You already own... Oh, okay. So, it looks like... are they at war with anyone right now? No, but they've lost a couple of items. Okay. Well, that has impacted us in a fairly negative way. I hope they don't get into any more wars, frankly. Because, my lord... Okay, so yeah, bunches of things have been messed up for them, and as a consequence, we can't access them. However, we can buy access to their lead, and I will definitely do this, especially for a... that one didn't go through for some reason. Especially for a science-focused civ. Can I purchase this? No, perhaps there's just not any good trade route. Okay, well, that's given us a little bit extra stability. Let's see how that has affected Manu. Manu is now tending towards 100%. Okay, it's still tending down, but not quite as severely. Once the common quarter districts are built, this will probably be above the danger zone, which is below 30%, where rebellions might occur. And we're also tending towards 99% at Eelstar. Okay, well, that's not terribly bad. We can certainly make do with that. For now, though, let's position our armies along the border with Shen's lands and consider how we will probably go to war fairly soon. Okay, I think that was a good recap.
Commons quarters, sampling all the cities. You have unlocked seafaring.
Damn it!
To safely travel the dangerous, hungry oceans. You can cause trouble anywhere you want now, and have a better chance of getting away with it.
I mean, okay, that's one way of looking at the pros and cons of this particular technology, but it's a shame that we missed out on the narration there. Working beyond calm coastal waters requires a much greater understanding and respect of the ocean. The Great Fish Market, plus 5 money per naval trade route and plus 4 money on harbour. That'll be great for our bank balance. And the cog is now available to us. Okay, that's absolutely wonderful. What are we researching now? We're currently researching guilds at the moment. World Deed unlocked. The Great Blue Hole has unlocked for another empire. Let's have a look at that one. Oh, where would that be? Let's see. I am not seeing it, sadly. Wonderful World. Maybe it's up here. Sacred Ground. Oh no, there we are. Wonderful, great. I was just looking for the Great Blue Hole, but there we are. Be the first to discover a Great Blue Hole. Okay, well, is everyone getting this? I assumed that would lock for people, but maybe a lot of people saw it all at once. We'll have to assume that is the case. Okay. Menkalinian converted to a new religion. The people of Menkalinian converted to Oak Brethren. Fantastic. And Marfak converted to a new religion. Absolutely wonderful. Okay. Ooh. Why? Okay, I accept.
You're climbing your way up the ladder of renown, growing the glory of your empire.
It appears that conversion brought enough population into our sphere that we have now moved up a tier. That's absolutely fantastic. In one turn. And in 13 turns, we're going to get 3 new areas. Yes, we're pushing very hard now into Shen's area. Now, that's going to be an interesting one. I wonder how that will affect Shen's progress down the religious tree overall. I don't believe you can lose tenets from having having crested the religious population, or rather the population of people following a religion threshold, and then losing that population. So we may see that we'll actually slow that down completely. Now, we could go for more influence on Commons Quarters. That's tempting. We could go for develop the intellect, plus 20 science per alliance on Empire. We've only got 1 alliance, but 20 science is nice, but I feel like I could get that with 1 building at this point, so maybe not. Purge idleness, plus 15 industry on main plaza. Now the thing with this is we would get that on every main plaza, so that's every city, for all intents and purposes. But we could build many commons quarters, and we might want to, especially as they in turn produce influence. And influence is definitely something that we're starting to struggle with a little bit. I think we're going to go with proselytize daily. Okay. Are we going to change up our religious buildings? I think we will. Let's have a look at... I think the Islamic religious building is very, very pretty. It's understated in certain ways, but also quite well decorated in others. It's an interesting one. Of course, you've got the bold angular kind of design of the Christian themed religious building. We can have a look at it. I mean, I guess this is currently termed as Oak Brethren right now, which is an interesting. Are there any others? Can we go back to having the stone circles at all? I guess not. Okay, well, I think we're going to go with Islam. I actually find that one quite pretty. Let's go with that one. Choose tenet. There we are. So, we will have gained +2 influence on the buildings that we're currently working on building. So we've now got to get up to 145. Alright, well, that shouldn't take us too too terribly long to get to. Right, let's have a look. Eelstar's finally finished their army, so let's get you out and into position. I'm thinking that this army in particular would do well to be around this position. We will have this army make its way... Well, honestly, we could probably just immediately sack and claim a card if we wanted to. Perhaps have this army around here. I'm just going to position them around the place for now. But that does mean that Eelstar can start working on a couple of things. We could just go straight ahead and start building the Dome of the Merciful there. It's actually incredibly pretty building, especially now I can see it much closer up. I really like this one. Now, if we can get a couple of religious, of holy sites in the same territory, that will generally give us more bang for buck on our on any kind of festivals that we hold. Let's have a look. Also, actually, this is another interesting one. I will start it with Eelstar because it's a shared project. But if we place it up here in the capital city's influence, because we've already had one festival. Now, normally these would only give us 20 faith, but I wonder... Oh, actually, the extra stability, I don't think we can pass that up right now for Darth Raptor. No, I don't think we can at all. Let's find a nice place to pop this, though. Somewhere where otherwise we wouldn't really be developing much in Darth Raptor's territory. Perhaps a tile that has no other significance. We've got a couple down here that don't have much that I wouldn't mind popping a holy site. Sure, let's pop one just down by there. There we go. That will help Darth Raptor quite significantly. I'm going to allow Eelstar to focus its industry towards that goal. Manu, I would actually like you to help out with this for now. Let's just get that one complete. Now be complete in one turn. There we go. That'll be perfect. So that will help Darth Raptor significantly. It'll also free up Eelstar's production. Now, Darth Raptor is already moving towards 34%. We have dropped below the 90%, so now it's equally likely we'll get negative or positive events here, but that's fine overall. Now, the other obvious building is the emblematic building. This one is going to benefit from being completely surrounded by research. You'll gain +2 influence, -10 stability, sadly, but +2 science, +3 science per adjacent research quarter on city or outpost, +1 science per researcher, we're currently getting 13 here, an extra researcher slot, and a +2 science on research quarters. If we placed it here, we would replace the current research quarter that's there. Now, that would only really increase by 5 for us. Still, I think that's fine. We could go over here instead. That might not be a bad idea, but we wouldn't be able to get as many buildings around it, sadly. Still, I think popping in here and getting the most bang for buck out of this, because we're not actually going to increase our instability at all by placing it here. We're just going to make better use of the fact that I've stacked research quarters around it. Sure. Let's go ahead and do that. That will be the next thing that we're going to work on. Now then, we finally get to check out the new world. We've got some new resources that we haven't seen before, and I wouldn't mind having a city on the coast as something we go for quite swiftly, simply because that's going to allow us a little bit of easier access to the coastline and be able to get ships back and forth. But let's do a little bit more scouting around over there. I think that is a reasonable turn there. We'll have this group just stationed there for now, and that'll be it. Osmosis event once again. Okay. They want army composition. Conscripts, I'm going to refuse, which is going to hurt Darth Raptor. Okay, well, Darth Raptor is always going to be struggling a little bit there. But we do have an actual an event to look at. I come bearing steam. An inventor, engineer, ostracized from her own country on account of her religion, has come to you offering her scientific expertise. She wishes to settle in the city of Darthraptor, where she believes she could work productively. Her pioneering work on the fundamentals of engines could be vital, but the fact she is not a follower of the Oak Brethren could make things difficult. What do you say to her? Reject. She's been ostracized because she's a heretic, and we don't want those other faiths here either. Use. This will move us more towards individualism. Her research is crucial, but we can't openly welcome her. You'll need to bribe Darthraptor to hide her. Science investigating on Darthraptor, so plus 20 science but minus 15 money. That's not a bad deal. Or naturalize. This would move us a little bit closer, but in no real... Well, actually, it would actually move us in a meaningful way. We'd lose some of our... Oh, no, we wouldn't lose any of our faith gain right now. We wouldn't be changing a bracket by doing this. It'll be disruptive, but let us show the world that any innovator of any creed can become one of our citizens. Forces choice open-minded for civics, religious tolerance. Oh, let's have a look at that. We only just gained this one. And this is probably what's pushing our religion so hard right now. I mean, it would give us influence, which would be amazing, but... No, we're not going to be able to take that one. I would like to, but no, it's not going to work in our best interests right now. We're going to go for use. We'll bribe Darthraptor for a little bit. The lack of money isn't going to be a significant problem for us, to be perfectly honest. And this Darthraptor in particular is going to benefit hugely from the amount of science that it is now generating. Right, Eelstar. Let's have a look at where we could possibly build this emblematic building. 12 science over there. Does it really gain much? Well, we've got 1 science quarter, sure. But there's not a lot of other use there. We could go down here, though. I wouldn't mind losing some of these buildings. Now, I wouldn't necessarily build all science quarters here. But what I could do is I could put 1 science quarter there. This will buff this natural science here. And I think that would be fine. Then we could place the emblematic building there. With a view to surround it with science output there. I'm quite fine with that, honestly. We do need to get more scientists over here. Right now, we just need more population, though, ultimately. But we'll see how that one goes. Alright, let's continue our hunt around here. Sure, let's follow up. We've got a new natural resource there that I'm not familiar with. Very well. That's going to be the end of this turn. But I'm strongly considering just getting settled over there. Now, Manu has built a district somewhere that will have generated a hamlet that will allow us to gather some more resources. Let's have a look around. Where did we build it? Oh, there we go. Actually, looks really, really pretty. That's really pretty. And now we're generating resources there as well. We definitely want some more hamlets on these areas. Hamlets are going to be how we make use of the distant islands. That's probably the only way that we're going to be able to make use of them. So that works out well for us in the end. Knowing that, I'll probably place differently on islands in the future, knowing that eventually I'm going to have hamlets to make use of them. Culture chosen. The English reached the early modern era with the Haudenosaunee. I'm still awful at pronouncing that, I do apologize. And has raced into first place. Okay, I can see why they were holding off. They probably got a 1 or 2 tier 3 stars there. That is dangerous for us. That is very dangerous for us, actually. Don't like that at all. But okay. I think we're definitely going to need to gather more units together for the eventual war here. Privileged Whispers. In the thriving city of Darthraptor, a whole hierarchy of power has sprung up as commerce and the commons grow in importance. With you, the autarch, limited in your time, should this burgeoning new class of nobles have influence, or should your regard be only for your own bloodline? Okay. Aristocracy. The superior bloodline of the nobility can lead this empire to greatness, +5 money on main plaza. Or monarchy. Only those of royal descent should wield political power. Well, this moves very heavily over here, but it's such a shame. If that would have pushed us towards liberty, I would 100% have taken it. Though this will move us towards tradition, which is something I would very much like to get. But that's an interesting one. We'll see how that one develops. We definitely don't have the means to take care of that one just yet, though. All right, Eel Star. Let's well, actually, while we're here, how about we gain a bit of extra stability? That would be very easy for us to do. And with that, let's place down our emblematic district. This will give us a little bit of extra prestige there. Commons quarters wise, again, for a little bit of extra prestige. And this is a very nice position. +20 stability, +4 prestige, because obviously we've upgraded those. That will be remarkably useful for us. Sure, we'll leave Eel Star developing in that regard. Right, as for our group over here, let's continue moving around a little bit and just see what we can see. Got another resource down there that we haven't seen previously. Just slowly exploring things out. We've got some salt. We've got a lot of resources down here, actually. Okay, so this one territory has access to 2 resources. I would very much like to take it, but I would also like to just see how this area expands. Though, honestly, I should probably consider just popping down a quick outpost. And maybe an outpost up top here would be worth it. Sure. Let's get one up nice and high on this hill, because from here, defending this city would be fantastically easy. We'll have relatively swift access to the riches of food and industry on both sides. Yeah, no, that is an amazing place to pop down an initial outpost. We don't need to connect it for a little while. In fact, we're not going to be able to. We've got no natural connection. The ocean is a natural barrier. We will have to have an independent city over here. There's just no other way around it. Right then. Eelstar's population has increased, so has Manu's, and so has Darth Raptor's. Fantastic. A new wonder can be claimed. Oh, happiest of days. I approve enormously. Let's go ahead and grab one of these. Oh, wow. Shen has already grabbed St. Bastile's Cathedral. +1 faith per district already. Shen, you monster. Wow. Straight in there, sniped. All of your other cities gain food equal to 50% of the food produced by Machu Picchu City. That is an interesting one. That would allow our population to really start to snowball. On city or outpost, +100% production towards any shared project. +5% industry. That would also be a decent one. Taj Mahal, +50% money on Calm City. I think Machu Picchu will be where we're going. I think that one's going to be definite. There we are. Claim this one. Let's get that up and running. And also, let's start moving our industry towards production. Let's see who else is on the move. Right, at this point, we can upgrade you to a cog. And I would very much like you to move. No, I wanted to split. There we go. You should start exploring on your own. And you should split. Start exploring on your own. And you should start exploring on your own. There we go. Let's start properly scouting out these areas. Now, maybe I'm going to allow them to scout on their own. Hopefully, it works well. I have been warned that the auto explore isn't necessarily the best. Let's just put it that way. It leaves something to be desired. Now, in terms of our most productive cities as far as food, I think it's going to be Manu. Most of the others have significant industrial, or in fact, Darth Raptor has a decent amount of industrial and science production. Eelstar, there's not a lot of production down here, but Manu has the rivers. I think Manu is going to be the main producer of food for us. Or, you know, obviously right now it's not producing a great deal. That being said, is Darth Raptor the best food producer? Plus 144 from exploitation, plus 332 from districts. What about Manu? But okay. So Darth Raptor is the better option there. All right. Well, I'm down with that, I suppose. Okay. Well, let's pick a spot which will give us a nice big bit of generation of resources. We could go here. We could tap this area, gain a decent amount of production around there. I think here would be one of the better options, though we are already tapping this point a little bit. If we turn that off, we will see only the areas that Darth Raptor is currently gaining resources from. Actually, if we click on Darth Raptor, there we go. Now we see only the places where Darth Raptor is currently already tapping. So we are tapping that. We're not doing anything with the resources around here. How about up here? We're doing nothing with this area. So we can probably safely extract from here, perhaps. Here. All the way over here. And there's a lot of materials around here, but we're already gathering from these two tiles, so I feel that one's probably a bit of a wasted location. We would get access to the food in the lake, and it's probably the only way that we're going to gain access to the food in the lake here in any meaningful way. So sure, we'll pop that down there. There we go. Now I do need to make sure the Darth Raptor is going to finish Suwon. I think it's Suwon. I have received some help in pronunciation of Suwon and Joseon in the comments. I am certain I'm not doing a good job, but thank you very much for pointing out the error, and I will continue to try and improve. But I'm going to just go ahead and finish this one off nice and fast. There we go. Now, Manu, can I aim your enormous industry towards Machu Picchu? I hope I can. It'll take a little bit of time, but it'll be well worth doing once we've got things going. Close to a war victory. There happens to have a war support of 20... What? Guilds researched. Associations of artisans or merchants ensure the quality of trades, but can also lead to secret alliances. Minus 20% money cost on the base price when buying a resource through trade, and plus 20% money from resources sold to other civilizations. At this point, we've sold everything, but so, you know, it's not great. But commodity market, plus 2 money per trader, and the saboteur are now available to us. I wasn't aware that we were at war. In fact, I'm fairly certain we're not, but we'll have a quick glance at that, I guess. 3-mast ship. This is a naval transport. Ignores any penalty from deep water. Now that is nice. Settler, colony plan. I mean, this would... Well, actually, kind of this would be useful. We could send a city across the New World. And it would have... Create a city with a package of infrastructures already built. Starts with 3 pop, 210 industry, and starts with all infrastructure from eras 1 to 3. That is very nice. That's probably where we want to be going, but... How can I say no to this? It will allow us to start tapping saltpeter, apparently. Our emblematic units, plus army defense. Let's tap into gunpowder first. It's going to take us 6 turns to get it. It'll be well worth our effort, I feel. Right, let's go ahead and claim this territory. Right there will be fantastic. There we go. We've got a couple of new outposts, apparently. Okay. Let's head on down there as soon as we can. That's kind of annoying that popped up somewhere I'd already been, but sure. While that is going together, it's going to take us 3 turns to get, but we're going to be able to tap into 2 new luxury resources, and get horses. And I believe this will be the first time that we've seen Sage in the Empire, which was going to be fantastic for us. Absolutely marvellous, in fact. And we've got five turns on finishing this wonder. We're not even going to have enough to get the next wonder by then, but sure. That's fine for now, I guess. You can go ahead and, well, you know what? I'm starting to think that it may actually be better to have all of my armies together if we're going to go to war. Spreading out will allow me to ransack areas a little bit faster, but increasingly I wonder if that would be that useful. Well, we've got a decent force here. We might be able to take this city at the same time as hitting a couple of others, because ultimately we want to take out the cities. But they do have this force here that is a little bit of a worry, because they might come down and try to start a fight. But if we could win this fight, we would wipe out that opponent at the same time, assuming we could get through the walls, which is not a guarantee. Certainly not a guarantee. Okay, well, I think, again, we're going to spend a couple of turns before we go for that one. They've entered the classical era and kept their traditions. Oh, okay, fair enough. Another osmosis event, no doubt, a bad one. Yes, it is. Foreign innovations, +1 science per number of trade routes on city or outpost. Let's have a look. Okay. Got +1 science per researcher. +1, well, I mean, honestly, that might not be a terrible option. Elder's Wisdom is moving us more in this direction, but again, I do want to be moving more towards traditionalism, just for that faith boost. So we're going to refuse this one and take the stability hit again. It is a massive pain in the backside, but we'll do our best just to bear with it. That being said, I believe we have already completed this now, which is fantastic. Getting 14 science per researcher, which is absolutely marvellous. But we probably want to start looking at generating more food at this stage, if I'm perfectly honest. Let's have a look around. Where could we maximize our food output? It would be grand if we had any kind of food building that could go here that would be able to manage both food and industry. But losing 3 industry in order to gain 14 food, I think that's absolutely okay, and we'll only drop it by half, so that's even more, half of the stability penalty, so that's even more acceptable there. Slowly making our way down. Once we've grabbed that, I think we're going to try and make our way. Is there actually a way up there? Yes. There should be a direct route up there. We'll make our way down here and try and grab this territory as well. And we'll continue to expand out in that regard. One more turn. Okay, a little bit of cash. Not bad, actually. Not quite the same amount that we generate per turn, but not far off either. Reasonably good. Okay, let's make our way down here. We've only got 1 turn left. Then we can tap all of these resources in one go. Reached the early modern era with the Dutch. The Dutch have entered the stage. New alliance between... Oh. Okay. Well, that's a bit of a problem. No, actually, no. No, it's not really. If they decided to come to war with us at the same time, we could easily grab these cities and then just hold them until the war was over. That shouldn't be too much of a concern for me, realistically speaking. If I were to work on that, it's still going to take 2 turns. Still, I'm okay with directing our influence towards this. I wouldn't mind getting another... well, I don't want to place that there. And the reason why I don't want to place that there is I know I'm going to place a science area there. So we'll avoid that one for now. Instead, what we could do is... Let's see. Get plus 15 here. I know I'm going to place a science quarter there, so we would lose, sadly, a fair bit of food and a little bit of industry. We'd lose 6 food and 1 industry, but for 15 stability and 4 influence, I'm okay with that for now. On that note, let's have a quick gander, see how this is moving. Yeah, they're slowly taking over Fitz old territory. However, we are continuing to culturally influence again, back to first place position there of Birdman. How are we doing religiously? We have got 1 conversion in 4 turns, 1 in 6, actually quite a few in 6, 1 in 3. Okay, not bad at all. Another over there is going to convert in 2. Yeah, we are probably going to hit tier 4 before anyone else does. Fingers crossed. That is the last tier. By the way, at that point, it doesn't actually matter how our religion is moving around. We can actually refocus our civics as a consequence of that. What we'll probably go for, let's have a look here. Plus 50 science on cultural wonder. Plus 1 maximum number of holy sites. We've got sustain the faithful. Plus 20 stability on territories if territories follow foreign religion. That's an interesting one. And donate generously. Plus 25 money per alliance on empire, but plus 3 maximum holy sites. And finally, meditate often. Plus 2 combat strength on units, plus 1 maximum number of holy sites. So donate generously will give us money as long as we're in an alliance, and will give us many more holy sites. And holy sites can be very useful for gaining stability. But raised monuments is probably one of the better ones for us, I would say. This one's an interesting one because it's specifically if you don't have a territory that is your faith, then you'll gain extra stability. So I guess that one would be very useful if you were going to wars a lot and then as a consequence had numerous territories that you'd taken from someone else and you hadn't already managed to get your religion installed there. Okay, oh, there we go. Population already rising. Marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. Okay, well, let's use our influence immediately. It's rather costly, I suppose, but let's tap into the artisans' quarters here. And we don't need horses. I'll grab this one as well. This will help the Empire overall. Plus 8 stability on all cities, plus 6 food on main plaza, plus 6 food on administrative center. That one is genuinely quite nice. We need to get to the point that we can have patronage. Where is patronage? Let's have a look in the tree here. We want to get to... There we go. 7 turns. Luxury manufacturing. This is where you can upgrade any particular resource that you've developed sufficiently. We really want to get to this. So as soon as we've finished gunpowder, which is in 2 turns, we are going to push on to patronage. We'll have to go through centralized power, which are plus 5 money on main plaza and plus 3 money on luxury resource deposits. That's going to be quite nice. Halberdiers, and we'll also increase the strength of our defenders. That'll give us a fair bit of time. It'll be very, very much worth doing. All right, let's continue on down, and we'll see what we can do down in this territory. Opening up quite nicely. Ooh, we've got a bit of salt over there, plus 5 food, plus 4 stability. But as you can see, once you can get patronage, you can really start to push your cities, because you're going to be manipulating them on a level of a percentage rather than just plus 5 food, which does very little for Darth Raptor, but plus 10% food on Darth Raptor, now that's actually quite a different story entirely. One more turn on Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu could be described as an imperial center for an empire that cares deeply about agriculture and has no fear of heights.
That's actually a fairly good description. Right, we've got Seganas converted to a new religion. Very well. It's the only one that has. Another osmosis event. Civic osmosis, +5 influence on main plaza. Let's have a look at you. +3 faith on territory. No. Not right now. Not right now. We're going to have to refuse that one, which is a shame. It would have been great if it came at a different time, but sure. Resource sold. We've already sold our sage. The Dutch, the Harappans. The Dutch. Sorry, not the Harappans. They were the Harappans at one point, but attitude changed.
Have a seat.
Pleasant.
Have a glass. Let's get to know each
We're
other.
much more powerful than them. It's good to know. Okay. That's not going too badly at all. Right, Manu. We need to have a proper consideration of what we're doing here. I would very much like to capitalize on the amount of money we're getting and indeed on the research as well, if possible. With that done, 4 turns there, which isn't quite enough for me yet. We could have games for +5 stability. I wouldn't mind that. We could go for another holy day if we really, really wanted to. I'm not really sure that would be the best one to go for, but let's have a look around. Have we got any really good places to place this? Not really. Gaining the extra influence from this structure is worth losing the 3 food. But I would then very much like to surround it with additional science, whereas I could look for a place that would give me a bit more science from it. Somewhere that I'm not really developing in any other way. For example, down here, I could place quite a lot of science around there, for example. Still, I wouldn't mind losing these 2 tiles to science. I would kind of like to spread out there, though, to get agriculture going, but I could come from a different direction for that, I suppose. Sure, let's get that one up and running as well, then. Now, let's go and grab that resource quickly before we do anything else. There we are, old curiosity. Well, let's return to exploring this area directly here. Would it work to go down there? Actually, it might not be too bad. We'll follow the river down. Since we're already on the river, we can make use of the transport there fairly rapidly. But it'd be wonderful to get a little bit more sage and indeed some salt as well. We might be the only person in the new world right now, but that isn't not to say it's going to stay that way. So we do need to be aware of that. It looks like we actually might want to look at our stability over there. Darth Raptor definitely needs a little bit of a hand. We very much want Darth Raptor to expand in this regard, though. Anywhere else that I can place you that's really going to get me a good return on the investment? Not many places. I suppose I could go there for +15. Or I could go here for +10. Expecting to go on to build other buildings behind. But I'm thinking we're probably going to just continue developing my science area over here. It's only +5 here, but I'm strongly suspecting we are going to be developing around this area. At least there we're going to be developing more industry. Up here is a bit more of a question mark, really. We could develop over here, perhaps. Again, there is a chance that I'll continue to develop it in this area. Maybe go here, since I'd lose only 1 food. But I am going to want to develop this area out a little bit more. Sure, let's pop that down and also lay the groundwork for expanding. There we are. That's already -5. Since it's between 2 commons quarters, it will probably be it'll probably be free in total once both of these are gaining +5 from its presence. Yeah, that'll be a free addition, so there's absolutely no reason not to do that one. This one, though, that one is going to cost us a little bit of stability. Let's pop a little bit of money down. Keep things moving. Actually, on that note, let's do the same for Manu. Let's pop a little bit of cash down there. There we are. That'll help out a wee bit. But okay, we are not doing too badly. I suspect that we may well see... In one turn, we might be able to grab the 4th tier religious tenet. There we go. Indeed, we have. Gunpowder warfare research. An ancient mix of chemicals gains new life as stronger metals can contain and orient the blast. Saltpeter is now available for us to start acquiring, and we can then immediately start upgrading our troops. But that is fantastic. 13 followers just joined our state religion. That is absolutely magnificent. And we are converting more and more and more. We might even be able to get most of the world under the sway of our religion if we really, really focus our efforts. Okay, so donate generously gives us more holy sites, which would help with our positioning of stability in specific cities. But I think we need to go for raised monuments. We only had one holy site of that nature, but I think it's again time for us to have a look around. Quite like the Buddhist religious building as well. Sure, let's choose this tenet. We're at 165 out of 145. That is actually kind of bonkers. Very well. There we go. We are the first, and so far, only tier 4 religion. There are no higher tiers in terms of the religions. Right. New tenet. Let's go ahead and see with Eel Star. Let's pop down the Golden Pagoda. Once again, I think we're going to aim for Darth Raptor, who is struggling. Well, actually... They are struggling a little bit, but so is everyone now at this point, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, sure, let's pop the Golden Pagoda just over there. We go, that'll look lovely. Alright. It's going to take us 3 turns to finish that. We have now got news from the borders.
Here is a proposal to get your heart racing.
I am...
Yes, friend. Say what you wish.
Ooh.
I will listen.
If we go to war with Shen, it would be good if they didn't jump in as well. So I'm going to counter, and we'll see what they say.
Once again,
They refused.
you show how inadequate you are. This is what you wish to do. You set things in motion.
Bad things for you, honestly, because if you get pulled into the war because Shen demands it, I will crush your cities. Absolutely crush them. Stole Great Blue Hole. No, I did not. We could demand that they switch state religions and start building my war support. We may have to consider that. We will see. Now, with that done, let's move our units around a little bit more. See what you can see. Okay, we've got a little bit of something over there that I would like. Ooh, two more sites. This land is full of wonderful resources. Where on earth are you ships going? Okay. Right, so what we've learnt today is that all of the rumors about how bad the Auto Explore, they're true. We're going to... Sure, you go ahead. Just move around a little bit, and then I'll move you from there. In fact, you go ahead and move up here, and then you can heal up a little bit there. All right, we're taking them off Auto Explore. No more are you going to be allowed to wander around on your own whim, because it appears that you're just sailing in circles, and I'm not down with that right now. But one final thing that we can have a look at, we can convert this to a city, and I think there is every reason for us to do it. So let's go ahead, a new city on the new world. There we are. And of course, we require this new city to have a new name. But one thing I do want to point out is how beautiful the architecture is as a consequence due to the fact that the cities will take on the architecture of the culture that built the city, and the plaza will always maintain that architecture. The rest of the city will evolve with the times, but the architecture of the main plaza is kind of set in stone, and I really, really like that. But we need to find a new name. And the new name is Pokedragon. Thank you ever so much for being a patron supporter, and welcome to the Empire. There you go. The new city of Pokedragon has been founded and can, as a consequence, now immediately start developing its resources. So let's do that. We'll gain a little bit of science there, but the first and probably most important thing is for us to get a little bit of extra food going in the Empire. And 27 food sounds pretty good to me. Beyond that, we should be able to start developing additional infrastructure around here. That said, right now, I believe that we automatically gain a lot of infrastructure based from the early eras, and as you can see, we've already got stone walls, for example, which is actually pretty cool. Some of our other places don't have stone walls. 40 industry will be wild. Let's get that on the go as well. And I'm thinking a dock. There's no particular grand resource around here, so sure, let's go with the food up on this side. Let's set that in motion. Now, of course, it means we're only going to have one. Well, actually, let's get rid of you. Let's reposition you. If we go... Well, we can't go there. That's a bit of a shame. We could have 3 market districts there. We'd have a little bit of a loss here. We'd lose 2 food in exchange for significantly more money as a consequence of building there. We'd lose a lot more food down here, though, just for a little bit more money. That being said, there may be some synergy with the market district and the luxury goods district there, so maybe this isn't a bad idea, actually. I'm gonna plan for the money here more than anything. We are, however, going to... Well, you know what? Let's go for expert policy. And once again, we're not going to push science as hard for this city, but yeah, money, industry, then science. I think that's a pretty good balance there. But that is going to be it for this episode. We have run all out of time. In fact, I've run overtime, as I almost always do playing this game. I really do hope you've enjoyed today's episode. The final glance here is the current cultural map. We are still converting some cities over yonder. It's going to take us a little bit more time, but we're starting to get on the move. And here is the very us-dominated religious map. Now, as we convert more and more territories that are neighboring others, we will start spreading out through them. This is pretty powerful. If we can start yoinking a couple of holy sites from Shen as well, that spread is going to be even more extreme. But it's already pretty amazing right now. We don't actually need any more religious spread. Religion is helping us in certain ways because it's tying us to other cultures in a certain way, and also allows us to make certain demands. But at this point, we can actually start focusing away from faith being a really big focus for us, and we can just rely on the faith generated by the numerous holy sites that we are now in control of. But that is going to be it from me. I really do hope you have enjoyed. I really do hope that you will be joining me for the next, where we are probably going to start curtailing Shen's meteoric rise. Well, I guess meteoric would more like a thought. Maybe it's a meteor launched from the ground. How? By massive trebuchet? That doesn't. It would have to be a very big trebuchet. At that point, it's more of a hinged arm system that's probably in low orbit, using enormous jet engines to get that arm up to full speed and just hurling. It's a really low tech mass driver. But that is the rise that we're going to be trying to curtail in Shen, and then we will be immediately setting our sights on the current #1. We are over halfway through the game. We do need to start curbing the growth of our nearest competitors. We'll see how that goes. But until then, and as always, do take care, everyone.